"40 seconds of logos." For a flashback to The Rock's match at King of the Ring 2000, the WWF TV is playing the wrong version of his theme. The electrifying theme wasn't introduced until Rock's return in 2011. Unnecessary punch and thud sound effects are unnecessary. Also, Rock's theme is still playing even throughout the highlights of his WWF title match. Is Zack a time traveler or something? Because he's holding a cardboard cutout of John Cena's spinner belt title in an era where John Cena has yet to even exist in WWE, which at this point in time is the WWF. Also, young Zack sounds less than enthusiastic about The Rock becoming the new WWF champion in that 6-man tag team match. Did they randomly pick a kid who wasn't even a fan of wrestling and told him to cheer for it in sarcastic manners?
Rocky, Rocky.
Even though they do end up wrestling each other, I'm amazed that Zack hasn't immediately attacked Saraya for changing the channel.
Can I pull it tight?
I get that Patrick is a professional wrestler, but what if Zack accidentally killed Saraya all because he wasn't trained in wrestling? What? I'm just saying.
Ew!
Hiya!
What are you two dickheads after?
More like, what is wrong with these two dickheads' parenting skills? If you let your children curse freely with no consequence, you're doing something wrong.
I don't want to be a wrestler.
Character says they don't want to be what their family hopes them to be, only to do it anyway and be more dominant at it than they ever were, cliche.
It's like coke, crack, heroin combined.
What?
What if you're wrestling me?
Whoa, what the hell did I just look up from? In the theater, I was adjusting my seat and eating a poutine, looked up, and all of a sudden Zack was dressed like a... Okay, I can't come up with any reference, but whoa! The guy to the very left really gives the creepiest of vibes I've ever seen. The kid below looks like he was forced to attend the wrestling event, and Discount Mickey Rourke back there looks like he's ready to kill someone. I can actually understand why Saraya is freaked out.
Oh, princess!
First mistake in professional wrestling: never take your eyes off your opponent. Foreshadowing. Holy shit, Saraya just got knocked several years into the future with that clothesline. Kind of a future shock, eh? Eh? Nothing? Damn, thought that would make people laugh. Any film based on true events, or any film that's been heavily promoted as based on true events, always has to shove it in your face one last time when the movie actually starts. Opening credits sequence during a wrestling match. Actually missed the credits the first time I watched this movie because I was too busy watching the match.
Oh, I will.
That's honestly worse than watching the whole time and not countering at any moment. Actually demanding your opponent to not jump at you, to which they respond that they will, and you'll still get hit anyway. Zack is a dick.
Like wrestling?
Saraya somehow hasn't punched that asshole in the face for putting his gum on the promotional flyer. What an asshole. Discount jackass.
That's not mine.
Guy runs, frightened of getting caught with drugs, and immediately disregards it as his own upon being busted, cliche. One of the biggest cliches in the history of cliches.
Don't throw that. That's the same shit Rihanna smokes.
Zack should honestly just get rid of this asshole right now instead of giving him chances based on his complaint of throwing away drugs Rihanna apparently smokes. There's always got to be that one random old lady who takes the drugs after they've been thrown away.
Have you ever been to see live wrestling?
No, because I'm not a child.
Punch those bitches! Please, I'll throw away 5 sins if you do that right now. No? Okay then.
Hey, have you got a stiffy?
If I were Saraya, I would have taught this guy the next lesson. Taking a low blow and selling it properly. Wham!
Not a stiffy?
Yeah.
If this happens on a regular occasion, there are some real creeps among this group.
I don't know. What's it like?
Ain't no better way to show a wrestler how to take a garbage can lid to the face and see what it's like.
No thanks, I just come here for the smells.
The fuck?
What did we do last night, babe?
400.
These guys are running an independent wrestling circuit and are having financial struggles, but are able to have purchased a flat screen TV that was very expensive back when they got it.
It's known as an unplanned pregnancy. All pregnancies are unplanned, son.
Patrick would be great at CinemaSins 2 expansion.
Let's all just try and act a little bit normal.
There's no such thing as a normal human being. Never has been, never will. World wouldn't be worth living in if a normal existed.
His left leg bends both ways.
Well, that's nothing. You should see his cock.
Parents promised their kid they'd act normal only to do the exact opposite, cliche.
Both of you to come down and try out for us.
Man, I get that both Zack and Saraya are speechless, but someone please say something before Vince Vaughn hangs up the phone.
No, seriously, I've got the paperwork here if you...
Man, I love Patrick in this film. May not have much screen time, but he definitely steals the show whenever he's present.
What if I screw up?
You won't.
Character questions if they'll screw up, and the person with them assures them that they won't, even though life is unpredictable, cliche. That WWE logo is mirrored, trying to avoid infringing copyright on a movie made by WWE Studios. Also, they're showing the wrong WWE logo, as this one didn't become official until mid to late 2014, way after Saraya made her main roster debut as Paige. They should still be showing the WWE scratched logo. SmackDown Live didn't become a thing until the middle of July 2016. They seriously couldn't have the graphics changed to the SmackDown logo of the early 2010s? What's next? They're gonna show AJ Styles competing despite him not coming in until 2016? Zack and Saraya asked where the tryouts were located, but ended up going onto the stage, which was the complete opposite direction of the tryouts.
Dick me dead, bury me pregnant.
What?
You're shooting a movie here in London, and I'm gonna surprise the crowd tonight.
Don't seem to recall The Rock ever surprising the crowd with an appearance during 2011 in London. At least I don't think he did. It's been so long.
Rock. Hey.
Dwayne Johnson is clearly busy. Leave him alone.
Rock.
Just give him a rock bottom or something.
So you want some advice? Here's the rock's advice. Shut your mouth!
Honestly, this entire scene is why The Rock is one of the best wrestlers of all time. Even if this was part of the teaser trailers, it was still awesome to see.
The fans know 1,000% if you're not being real.
Doesn't mean they know how to run a wrestling company, though. I may be wrong here, but I'm very suspicious that this guy right here in the middle is playing the role of Pete Dunne. Anybody else notice that?
I see myself as WWE champion. Ding, ding, ding.
Alright, but what's with the putting your finger on the nose shtick? Is Hutch Morgan doing that for every time someone gets the correct answer?
What is it?
Paige.
Wrong! Saraya didn't refer to herself as Paige until after she had already qualified to FCW following her second tryout.
Just like not all Americans are arrogant wankers.
Savage Saraya.
Cupid's hour.
Also, no offense, but you're gonna go absolutely nowhere if all you do is shout the name of your upcoming finisher and alerting your opponent to counter.
Well, you will join NXT Developmental.
Are we positive this movie was made by WWE Studios? Because the development territory in 2011 was Florida Championship Wrestling. NXT was still a stupid joke of a competition show. This movie really needs to do its research.
This isn't right.
I know, Saraya succeeded in her second tryout, not her first. Saraya has had that cardboard cutout of the WWE Divas Championship since she was a little kid, despite the fact that the Divas Championship didn't exist until 2008. They seriously couldn't have had cardboard cutouts of the former women's title? Same with the old school WWF title?
I'm not going to be able to make it to the airport.
How can no one tell that Zack is obviously jealous and not going to compete for the WWE? Not going to the airport to send off his own sister is the obvious sign. This single walk out of the pool was probably what got this girl signed to NXT Development. Fucking hate how it's always about the looks.
Love your accent. You sound like a Nazi in a movie.
Fuck you.
Oh, at least one of you will be a stripper.
From the looks of things, at least 3 of them. Also, the WWE Performance Center is another example of something that didn't exist until after Paige was wrestling full-time on NXT in 2013. Also, FCW was in Tampa, not Orlando. This movie is so messed up with being in the right timeline.
Would you like to be WWE World Champion? Yeah!
Would you like the actual WWE Championship belt to be shown in this scene instead of one that didn't exist until after Paige made her main roster debut? Yes, sir!
Give me a shit ton of paperwork. I hate paperwork. I can barely write.
Vince Vaughn is hilarious as hell.
Now, as you all know, wrestling is storytelling.
I don't care. Fuck the storytelling. If it's not flips, super kicks, and non-stop gymnastics, I don't give a fuck what you think wrestling is. I know everything about wrestling just by what I want. See? How stupid does that sound?
And I am going to blow you.
What the fuck?
My name is Paige, and I am all the rage.
Saraya wanted to be a British rapper in the ring? Boy, that would have driven me crazy with the attempts. Zack wanted to try and prove himself better for the WWE, so he decides to put himself through thumbtacks despite the fact that WWE is a PG show in this era.
I can't let it go because this is all I can do.
While I do like that this is a biopic on Paige, I feel more interested if the center focus was on Zack instead. His story sounds a lot more dramatic than Paige's. Zack honestly stole the show in this film in my opinion. So great.
Where did you wrestle before?
I didn't.
So what did you do?
I was a model.
Choosing girls all because they're hot instead of realizing they got a lack of talent is one of the biggest problems WWE has.
You botch a move, you get a receipt.
Saraya would be great at Cinema Sins 2 expansion. That's how it works, kids.
I apologize.
Hutch is really making WWE sound like the softest wrestling company there is. The only stressful part sounds like the travel schedule, if you ask me. We don't give receipts, we give apologies. Get the fuck out of here.
Paige, I just asked you to apologize.
Forced apologies.
Wait, you sold tickets without telling me?
Unprofessionalism. This scene went from nearly pitch black dark to bright light in one single camera switch. Did Saraya wait all night just to close the laptop or something? Even after all this pausing, Saraya is still somehow considered to keep going with the training. Probably can't hear Paige because she is not even saying a word, so I sit in the crowd for stating the obvious. Ignoring your own child. Jesus Christ. As much as I didn't like Saraya's makeover, I did like the storytelling. Not fitting in, so she decides to make herself into something she's not. Goes to show how difficult things can be in this world.
Want to headline WrestleMania?
The way WWE was treating the female competitors in this era, not likely. They weren't even considered in the conversation at the time. Saraya is so frustrated at her abilities, she caused her hat to magically disappear off of the tire in between shots.
We're just tits and ass, right?
Well, fuck. Great job at making the story awesome.
He'd be bitter and he'd be mean.
Hutch finds Zach's potential suffering funny. Come on, I get that you're explaining why you didn't choose Zach to join in, but no need to be an asshole about it. The wrestler wearing all black never got hit by that superplex and fell down just for the joy of falling down. Always funny when the sins I normally place for wrestling events come into these videos.
I was hoping you could help me tell Mom and Dad.
Bad idea. Also, Saraya didn't tell her parents why she was returning from Orlando. Because of the journey she went on, I think it'd be pretty obvious why she'd suddenly come back. Either she got kicked out or she quit. Aside from Zach going off script, the other reason he kicked out was because the referee gave quite a slow count to Paige's roll-up. Also, going off script in a wrestling match. Paige gets her right shoulder off the mat, yet the referee continues his count. Even the referees in wrestling movies suck. Zach is really going off script because he wins the match despite him supposed to lose it, and he raises the referee's hand in victory as well.
She's quitting.
You prick.
Says the one who asked Zach to help her tell their parents that she's quitting her journey to the WWE.
You are going back to the States if I have to drag you there.
Parents try and force their child to do something they want them to do, completely ignoring what their child wants cliche. A cliche of some parents, sadly. Very sad.
Hey!
When depressed that you can't get any action, force some action upon you. Property damage.
No, then why am I still here?
Just because millions of people aren't cheering when you do it doesn't mean it's not important.
That line hit me right in the feels. I'm gonna be open and honest. There was a time I suffered from a lot of anger and frustration too because of losing views on this YouTube channel. I was taught that no matter how low the view count gets, I should keep going with what I do because I love it. And that's why I'm no longer affected at the fact that views had dropped since the channel's termination in 2017. Doing this is important to me. And to those who are still with me, thank you all, love you all. Everyone stares at the main character in the POV shot cliche.
Don't you touch his dirty lord! Come on!
Even if it's stressful, that's no doubt the best motivation to give someone who wants to succeed. That and cheering them on, of course.
Eat me!
No thanks, I'm trying to bulk up.
You guys are still competing in front of an audience. Bad idea to break character in the middle of a tag team match. The night of WrestleMania 30 was April 6, 2014. Sheamus then revealed his mohawk look until the night after WrestleMania 31 in 2015.
Don't eat a hot dog. Here.
This entire banter between Sheamus and The Big Show about hot dogs and burgers. The Miz may be awesome, but tonight he's an asshole. Just the same as any other night, apparently. That Extreme Rules poster to the very right was from the 2015 edition. Is it too hard to replace it with like the 2013 edition or something? Just to avoid more timeline errors? They even have WrestleMania 30 all messed up. The Rock just got done his segment with Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and coming up next is really Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. The Divas title match took place over 3 hours later. Unless, of course, Saraya was waiting in this room for 3 hours, not eating any of her hot dogs.
And I've been keeping tabs on her.
That one moment when even the dog knows who The Rock is, which is hilarious, yet creepy at the same time.
Paige's time with the NXT is over.
Really? But she's currently the NXT Women's Champion, something this movie has completely left out, not to mention completely leaving out her entire time on NXT television.
I love you, Rock.
Awkward! During Dwayne Johnson's conversation on the phone, the match in the background was the main event for the WWE Championship, a match Daniel Bryan won by submission, not by pinfall. Amazing how quickly the stage completely changed in less than 2 hours. Have I mentioned before that this story is absolutely awesome? Probably did, but it's worth mentioning again.
I'm gonna screw up. I'm gonna botch a move.
Coincidentally, Paige actually did botch her finishing move in this upcoming match, but still became very successful nonetheless. Botching one move doesn't always mean your career is shot.
Of all time.
AJ Lee was hanging out with Tamina when this segment took place. You couldn't have her show up or have someone portraying her too. Also, sorry, but I'm adding in 5 sins for the horrendous acting of Zelina Vega portraying AJ Lee and the horrendous outfit she's wearing. This looks like Zelina is playing herself, not playing AJ. You gotta wear the right outfit and have the right attitude. Jesus.
This is my house, freak!
Monologuing is a villain's greatest weakness.
Suck on that, bitch!
Ain't no greater feeling than someone who went from being not a fan of wrestling to being all in for wrestling.
And I have dreamt of this!
Post-match promo, especially one that didn't actually exist when Paige won the Divas Championship. Well, due to the fact that the Divas Championship is dead now, no one is ever going to take away Paige's record, obviously. Wah wah.